One of my pet peeves is texting. And I use text all the time. And my pet peeve is some people that just don't respond timely or at all to text.
Coach Cooper.
Especially one thing, the one thing that gets me, especially is if I personally invite you to, I don't care if it's a group text or not, I will say, now it's one way to, again, it was like it's part of the conversation. So, if I invite somebody to do something, to come over or do something, and it's just no response at all, I'm like, that bothers me. Now, it's okay that if I send a text, it's just like, you don't respond right away to it or something like that. Okay, people get busy and this and that. Okay, that's fine. But it's more of the specific pet peeve where it's not directed to anybody. I just want to be clear. There were some people, I'll just use an exact example. We went out to watch football yesterday. Now, some people I said, like in our group text here, guys, hey, we're going to be here. If you're interested, show up. That's what we're going to be. I wasn't looking for any acknowledgement or anything like that. That's fine, right? So that's not a big deal to me. Others, though, I asked directly, not naming any names, and no response, zero, nothing. Not even a thank you for inviting me. It takes 2 seconds to respond to somebody's text. You got an invite to something. So I don't buy it that people are that busy. Okay, so I also put the same question on my personal Facebook out there to get some responses. I got some interesting dialogue from my Facebook friends out there, so, but I'll just kind of stop there. So let me just ask you guys that question. Texting. Is it similar to if you called somebody on the phone and left them a voicemail, right, and they never responded back to you on a voicemail? Is it similar for a text? And does it bother you if people don't respond timely or at all for a text? Is it rude? Or am I just sound like an older dude that's like, grouchy and grumpy and get off my lawn type of stuff? So, Keith, what do you think about texting? The etiquette, texting etiquette.
I don't want to say that you sound like old fuddy-duddy. I think that's just your thing. Now, that doesn't bother me in the sense that you're talking about.
Okay.
I hate texting. I love the convenience of it. I love how it's quiet. You can communicate silently. I love that aspect of it. But I have some problems with texting. Texting has ruined relationships for me. Recently, the girl I started seeing, because of it, even in my old relationship, not understanding how the vernacular in which you're saying something, people reading a text in a negative sense.
Yeah.
Sure. You can't put your vernacular on written words. And sometimes when people are negative, they'll read it negative. And it has caused me arguments like, what are you talking about? Who's mad? I didn't mean it like that. I hate that. It has caused major problems in my life because of that. I don't want to text. Let's just talk so you can hear how I'm saying something. Now, my problem with texting is, I can't stand it if it's something important and I don't get a response. I just had to have I kind of chewed him out a little bit at my church the other day. My administrator, because she calls me every Saturday night. Are there any announcements? Is this, that? And I lay down things to her. And if she don't complete them, I don't get a response back. Hey, I didn't get a hold of so-and-so. There's times when she didn't get a hold of my assistant pastor, and I don't find out till the next day at church. And I'm like, you couldn't text me back? Take 2 seconds to send back, hey, I didn't get a hold of him. You could have let me know that. So I hate when I don't get a response when it's business or something important, some kind of order of things like that. Other than that, I appreciate it, but yeah, there has to be an etiquette. But you got to learn your people. There are some people I know when I get their voicemail, don't even bother because they don't check it. I know there's certain people whose voicemails stay full. You can't leave a message. And I know there's some people whose when you text them, they're not going to text back. And the thing I can't stand is if you got communication with somebody and they know that you're texting, make sure you respond, because the other thing is you can't trust text messages. I've had people like upset with me, and I never got your text. I never got it. And it worked the other way around. They never got my text too. So it's not foolproof. So responding is important. So you're not crazy. You should respond just to let people know you got it, especially if it's something important or that you need an answer to. So.
Okay. Skinner, what do you think about texting etiquette, sir?
It drives me nuts, to be truthful. I have 2 kids. One of them, she tells me I leave her on red all the time. READ. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? Well, Daddy, you read my text, but you didn't text back. It happened with me it's Ashley, my 18-year-old. I happened to be in a store where I was trying to send her a picture and a text message all at the same time, and I have very little service in this particular store. So I drove. It was on my way to picking her up for Saturday evening, to be truthful. And she got in the car and she goes, "Don't ever leave me on red again, Dad." I'm like, "Look, I texted you." And then her phone.
I just want to say to our listeners real quick, Skinner has like a crap load of girls, so he's probably an expert on this subject. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, 7 girls to be exact. But then I showed her my phone, and then her phone went beeping off. She goes, "Okay, Dad, you're okay." I'm like, "Well, thanks. I appreciate your approval." And then there's my oldest daughter, Brianna, who never reads her text messages. And she's learned that if she hears her phone getting pinged, because she's on our phone system, you can go check where's my iPhone and you can ping it. So if she doesn't answer my text within a period, me and Marcy both, we'll ping her ass so she knows that she needs to respond back to us. So I get it from both, I get it from both ways. But I agree with you, Fisher. Problem with today's kids, especially kids, is they don't know how to punch in a telephone number and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right.
I had an ex.
It's all text.
Prior to years ago, that she would text me if I'm at work or something. "Hey, can you call so and so, or can you call such and such place and ask what time they're open till?" I'm like, "No, bitch." I'm sorry, use the term. "No, woman. Pick up the damn phone and talk to yourself. You're as old as I am. You're not no damn kid that's hiding behind a keyboard." The kids nowadays, they have no social skills because they hide behind a computer or they're hiding behind their phone screen. So, yeah, while it's convenient, like Porter said, it's also a detriment today with society because they don't have any social skills.
Yeah, I think you hit on an excellent point there. There is a deterioration of skills when it comes to communicating person to person that has been lost due to the advancement of the electronic age. I know so many young people do not know how to talk to a person or a professional person, or you just make conversation. I sat at the dentist the other day and I just looked around and everybody's head was in the phone. And I put mine up on purpose, and I get in those situations. I start conversations with people just like, really? I understand you have a moment to catch up on all your business and your messages. I get it. But we're losing something in this. We're losing something.
It's called human interaction, and it's a lost art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you do text, somebody asks you, just take 2 seconds and respond. Especially if they're inviting you to do something, take a second to politely decline. And no matter how hard you try, young folks or otherwise, I get hung up in it sometimes in this too, where I'm like, how do I get around from actually pick up the phone and dialing this restaurant or something like that? It's like, just stop what I'm doing. I had to do it on Friday, as a matter of fact, to make reservations at the place. I'm like, how do I make reservations online? I can't figure it out. I'm just like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Stop, dial the number, talk to a human being, get it done. No matter how hard people try out there, you're never going to replace the necessity, at least in a business environment, if nothing else. You're going to have to talk to people. You can't hide behind email and instant message. You're going to have to.
What you just said, Fisher, right now. Experience today. I was ordering a $650 speaker online today, and I stopped in the middle of it and called the store and talked to the person directly. And you know what? It saved me some money.
Yep.
It saved me some money, and it was very, very helpful. And
Yep.
I'll have that delivered to the house in a couple of days. I was like, you know what? Everything's online. Let me call and talk to somebody and get some questions answered. Yeah, so definitely can relate to that. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get in trouble because this person watches our show religiously, but I'm going to tell you what I can't stand. When somebody says hi to me on a text message, and then I respond, and I hear nothing from them, and you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the equivalent almost if you walk up to somebody and ask them a question and they turn around
and walk away
yeah. and never responded, that is the equivalent in some respects of you not answering a text.
Well, I'll make sure, Fish, when you send out an invite, I'll make sure I'll respond no matter what.
Well, if it's now somebody else said you got to know your people and understand and the situation, and I get that too. I understand that too.
Yeah.
I understand. I have some friends that will not respond, and it's frustrating. But unfortunately, I've lowered my expectations of that person.
Get off my lawn!
I don't mean you. I don't mean but that's what happens. Anyway, we get off the subject here, but yeah. So I think I like this. So good discussion, guys. And if you have opinions out there on text etiquette, do we sound too old? Do we sound like we make sense? Whatever it is, share your opinion with us. You can contact us on our social media pages and
don't use all
platforms.
Caps. You're yelling at me.
That's right. Or email us at itcamefromgenx330@gmail.com. Again, post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And I'd love to hear your opinions. Hey, Fish here from It Came From Gen X with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.